Greetings to my fellow dog lovers. My name is Carolyn Scott, and I consider myself to be a part of a very large community of people that love dogs. Some may hate to admit that dogs train their humans. I can admit that I used to believe otherwise. When I first got my dog, I signed up for some training at the local PetSmart. Great idea, right? I thought that they would make my dog smart. Well, it turns out that he was already smart because he became very anxious when we were going for training because it was actually the place where I had gotten him castrated several months earlier. So needless to say, my first lesson was do not take your dog to the same place for a procedure that you plan to take him for training at a later date. I have learned a lot since those days, and I'd like to give you my personal scoop on some experiences. But according to C. Milan, the wisdom of a dog is medicine for the soul. But in our self-centered, species-driven world, we often forget to pay attention. Milan uses a scenario of a human that has a first encounter with a dog that offers their hand to the dog to smell. Actually, dogs have 300 million olfactory receptors compared to 6 million in humans. Needless to say, the dog smelled you before you arrived. Dogs can sniff out bombs, drugs, pursue suspects, and find dead bodies. They are being used to detect human disease such as cancer, diabetes, tuberculosis, and malaria from smell alone. Dogs are very intelligent naturally and have distinct ways of their own. Sonny began to teach me things little by little, and I never thought about getting furniture for my dog until I came home one day and Sonny was on my couch. I thought I would just come in and, have a quiet evening, watch some TV on the couch. So I learned from that experience that if you do not supply your animal with a place to relax, then he'll take your spot. I have now supplied him with that, and we have not had any other problems. He knows the boundaries, and he uses his furniture, and I use mine. The last thing I learned from a dog is that routine exercise is very important. Take a moment and go back in time where the dog was part of the family, and he mainly lived outside. There wasn't a fence or restrictions of any kind. Dog was able to run around and chase squirrels and just do what dogs do. Most dogs and family situations are quite different these days. We are responsible for supplying discipline, affection, and also exercise for our animal. And if we fail to exercise them, we'll probably come home and find our place in a shamble because that unspent energy will be used on your house. Needless to say that if we fail to exercise them, that we set ourselves up for failure. Exercise is vital to both my dog as well as myself. So I learned Sonny's routine, and I take him out to get fresh air, and at the same time I get some for myself. That's not something that I could force him to do, but he has feelings too, and he seems to really enjoy it. So if you decide to make a dog part of your life, remember that they train you. You can have a mutual understanding with your dog, and I learned from Sonny not to force unnatural training. Set boundaries within your space and go outside and bond. I took a lot of lessons from Sonny. It amazes me how each dog has their own set personalities. Both the human and the dog are adapting to each other. I feel a lot of dog owners should learn their dog's personality and their behaviors and be open to your new friend, and you'll learn a lot. Thank you for listening.